For any American who's been to the UK, you know that their diet actually doesn't consist of just tea and snobby elitism. They also have sausage rolls made with Lincolnshire sausage, which is difficult to find outside of Europe. In this video, I'll walk you through how to make your own Lincolnshire sausage from home and show you how to make sausage rolls that compare with what you can get across the pond. Of course, to make it ambitious, I'll use bacon jam as my dipping sauce, completely homemade. Start off by making the jam. Fry 3 slices of bacon over medium heat for about 5 minutes or until completely crispy. Remove and chop finely. Then add 1 diced white or yellow onion and 3 cloves of garlic and caramelize over medium heat until completely browned or about 20 minutes. In a food processor, add your onions and garlic, your bacon, 1/2 cup or 125 milliliters of apple cider vinegar, a few drops of Worcestershire sauce, a 1/4 cup of tamarind date chutney, and a cup of ketchup. Pulse until completely combined and add to a jar, seal, and refrigerate while we get started on the sausage. The herbs distinguish this sausage from American breakfast sausage. You'll need about a 1/4 cup or 15 grams of sage leaves and about 7 grams or 1/8 of a cup each of fresh rosemary and thyme. Give that a spin in a coffee/spice grinder and pulse until completely ground. Make sure to remove any twigs or stems or herb extremities. In a large Pyrex dish, add salt and pepper to 1½ pounds or 3/4 of a kilogram of pork shoulder that's been cut into thin strips. Add your herb blend and about a cup or 120 grams of soggy breadcrumbs, which will stop the sage from overpowering the taste of the pork. I used panko breadcrumbs. Mix that together with your hands and make sure you mix it very well so that everything combines well in the meat grinder. Remember, pork shoulder is the best meat to use because of its lean meat and fat ratio. In a stand mixer with a meat grinder attachment, start incrementally adding your seasoned pork shoulder to the grinder and let the mince drop into the mixer bowl. Keep an eye on the grinder to make sure it doesn't get backed up. A good way to do this is by not overpacking it and not being stupid or impatient. Then, with your hands, mix it together one last time and get started on making the actual sausage rolls. Take a sheet of puff pastry and place it on a lightly floured surface. Using a lightly floured rolling pin, roll it out until it's nearly 1½ times its original size or about half as thick. This way you'll make more sausage rolls and you'll also cook them faster. Win-win. Cut the puff pastry into 3 long strips and remove 2 of the strips from your work surface. Stretch the pastry out gently with your hands just to make sure it's all the same width, and then start adding your mincemeat, forming a log on the bottom third of the pastry. Make sure the meat is packed in tightly so nothing falls apart in the oven, and brush the other end of the pastry strip with egg wash made of 1 whisked egg and some milk, and then roll it up. Making the actual log of sausage rolls is the hardest part. If anything sticks, add a bit more flour, but not too much. You want the pastry to stay as hydrated as possible in this process. Roll it over itself again, and then pinch it together either with your fingers like I did or by using a fork. Then, cut the sausage rolls into bite-sized pieces and gently score them with a chef's knife. You can get creative here with the scoring if you want, but the scoring is critical to letting the excess moisture out of the pork mince so you don't have soggy pastries. It's not just for the aesthetic. Again, if your work surface starts to get a bit sticky, just coat it with another light dusting of flour. Then add everything to a baking sheet lined with parchment paper and brush the tops of them with the same egg wash you used before, and sprinkle the tops generously with salt so they brown in the oven. Place the sausage rolls in the middle of your oven, preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 Celsius, and bake for 20 minutes or until the tops are golden brown. And you've got the most British tasting sausage rolls you can make at home. Of course, nothing is ever quite the same. The quality of the pork is different, the quality of the pastry is different, but many of my British friends stateside have been well satisfied with this recipe. Catch you next time. Subscribe so you can keep an eye out for my upcoming videos.